Hi everybody! Today we're going to see how I draw Japanese Spider-Man. Just so you know, there's a coloring book that you can get through Amazon. Just follow the link in my description and you can get a coloring book to show me how you color to how I draw. Okay, pencils first and then Sharpies. So if you don't want to watch the pencil portion of the video where I sketch the entire thing out, look in the description and you'll find a link that you can click on that will take you to a Sharpie portion of the video. I'll even include one for color. But for those of you that are going to stick around, I'm going to start off with a quick sketch for myself and get us going. Alright, so let me explain real fast. Japanese Spider-Man. The idea was because I was watching the 616, the episodes on Disney Plus. This is not a sponsor. I'm not, this is not a plug. I'm not sponsored or any of that stuff. This is just, this is what I like. And so the first episode was about the Japanese Spider-Man show, and man, it's really, really cool. But I really liked, and this is what I like drawing. This is why I say this is how I draw. I really like the fact that it's a guy in a regular guy in a suit. And of course everybody is, right? Everybody's a regular guy. But what I mean is he's not, what's the guy's name? Is Captain America or Thor. He's not super buff, gigantor, muscle people. He's a guy in a spider suit. That's really it. So he's not. He didn't work out and he doesn't have like a ton of muscles type kind of thing. He's just a regular guy. That's what I like about it. So I like that fact, and so I was like, we haven't done just like a regular looking Spider-Man. We've done Marvel Spider-Man, and I haven't done just a regular old guy. So why not, right? Because that's what we are. It's me and you. We're just regular old people. We're not superhero muscle-bound super workout people, So this is more. They always talk about that. They always say that it's about connecting. It's like I don't see myself in there, that kind of thing, And this one I kind of do. I get it. He's not super muscular. He's just a regular Joe who was. You gotta watch the story. I'm not even gonna go into it, like how he became Spider-Man. It's crazy. But again, they really stress in the show, and I really appreciate this with the storyline too. The guy that helped push it, he really stressed that look, they do it their way over there. We need to let them run with it, that kind of thing, because he got that. It's a whole different ball game over there. It's a whole different style of what they do in Japan. And he said, just run with it. Just do it the way they do it. They've done it right all this time. Let them go. And I really appreciate that. So that being said, it's a crazy storyline versus what we're used to. So give it a shot. Watch it, and plus watch all those the 616 storyline. Man, those are awesome. I've only gone through a couple, but what I might end up doing is drawing a bunch of stuff. So like Ms. Marvel might be next, stuff like that. They're really good. But you know what? It's kind of right up my alley because I am all about the behind the scenes stuff. I've talked about it many times before that if I could, I would be a concept artist. Because I love the fact that, what happens behind the scenes is part of the whole creation. And that's what I think I really like about the 616 show. It's kind of like the behind the scenes stuff, It's about the people that make these things. And I think they deserve more credit too, I'll be honest with you. Like the concept artists, the costume makers, stuff like that, they really deserve a big, huge credit for what they contribute. Not just the actors, not just the directors, It's like there's a whole community, that's the best way to say it. There's a whole community of creators that are the reason why everything looks the way it does, and I really like that. So like I said, I think that's why this appeals to me so much. And so that, what I'm saying is, then it might not appeal to you. It might not be your thing. You guys might start watching it and you're like, oh my god, this is boring. And that's fine if it's true. Everybody likes what they like, and it's no big deal. But that's what I think why I like it so much. Okay. So basically we're going to be doing anatomy, and this is kind of what I said with the other Spider-Man that we did. It's just basically human anatomy, because it's just a guy in a suit. Literally a guy in a suit, Alright, I think that might be good right there. And what I'm also trying to do is trying to dial back the muscles. Because again, I hate to say it, but he's not a very muscular guy. He's just a normal looking guy. I think that, let me double check like his, let's see, that's going to go out, then that's going to go out, then it's going to come down. Pretty much like that. Okay, I'm just planning out the webs and where they're going to go on the arms too. Is it? Yeah, okay. There we go. I think that'll work. Yeah, okay, so let me erase some of these sketch lines real fast, and then we'll get going. Welcome everybody that skipped. So if anybody's watching all the way through, thank you, but I doubt anybody is. So what I'm basically doing here is just, I'm erasing my sketch lines because they erase a lot faster. And as I got more confident, I pressed harder, and those confidence lines takes more effort to erase. So when I hit it lightly, I get rid of the sketches. And so that way, I still leave enough for me to see what I'm doing, but it's going to disappear enough that the Sharpie will stand out and not the pencil lines. So remember, all this is just for me. Don't worry if you can't see it. You're about to see everything. Okay, so let's welcome everybody that skipped and get going. Welcome, skippers. Welcome to the Sharpie portion of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because I do a different drawing every day. You can join along and have some fun. I'm going to be using a Sharpie fine point and a Sharpie pen. Mostly the fine point, but the pen's a little finer than the fine point. It can find things that a fine point can't quite find. I just sketched the entire thing out. I've erased the majority of the sketch lines, but left myself enough to see where we're going to go. So I kind of just want to dive in with the Sharpie fine point, and then we'll come back little by little with the Sharpie pen for the smaller details, because things like the webbing and all that stuff, the eyes, that's going to come into play. But for now, I want the big fat outline. So let's do this. I'm going to control the head a little bit more, just so I can get that head shape. I want him to look like a normal looking guy. So I'm going to start with the chin and work my way around. Okay? And so the reason I'm doing it like this is because, like I said, he's got a certain look to him, which is non-superhero-ish. Even though he is a superhero, But I talked about this in the sketch portion of, well, you know what, if you want to know, go back and look. You can go back and watch it if you want to know why. Because that's what's called the description and sketch portion. Also, I'm thickening up these lines just a little bit, because when I use this Sharpie, it's going to be huge. It's going to be super thick. So I'm trying to match what's about to happen and getting ready for the overall look. The reason I wanted to do it with this Sharpie is because I can control the line width. And if I mess up like that, see how it's off and thick and thin? I can just kind of come back and hit it where I need to. And there's a little bit of forgiveness. Whereas with this, it's done. You're in there, Okay? But also, I'm fine with that. I'm okay that there's some parts that are going to be thicker than the rest, and some parts that are going to be thinner than the rest. I'm just trying to overall get the shape of the head to look smooth. and it's starting to fall in. So I'm going to stop right there because the more I'm pushing it in, the more it's going to be off. So I'm good. Just make a head shape right there. So for the eyes, I'm going to do, let's see if I can get a good likeness. How about we do something like this? I'm going to do that, and another one like that, just to see if I've got the right angle. And then I do want to swoop up just a little bit. We can give it a little cat eye look, right? He's been working on his cat eyebrows for that night smoky look when he goes out for a night on the town. I'm just kidding. There we go. So see, I still wanted it kind of in that shape. So I'm gonna wait to do the webbing until we get most of it done, but that's all I'm gonna do for the face. The shading, the nose, and all that stuff, I'll do that with color. I'm not worried about that right now. So let me try to find a good, okay, that'll work. So I've got this arm up, this arm down. You've seen the pose, you see where we're going with it. So that means this shoulder is gonna be up a little bit into his neck. Here's the bicep. And we got a little bit of foreshortening happening here. So I'm able to get away with making it a little bit shorter because it's mostly behind him. I've got him in a very dramatic pose. So to his wrist. Let's go ahead and do the wrist back down. And you can see the arm, so you get an idea of what we're doing here. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just draw the shape, which is not much because I was talking about this in the sketch that he's a very average looking person. And so see, hang on real quick, we'll get back to that in a second. See how thick that is? That's why I'm okay with drawing this a little thicker to match how thick this line is. Just to keep it consistent, basically. You don't have to do this if you're working with pencil. I just know what this Sharpie looks like, and that's why I wanted to try and get it to look the same. Okay? Alright, so the hand we're doing kind of like one of these. So I'm going to throw his thumb back like this. And I know it's difficult with these big Sharpies, so do the best you can. Move this finger up. Now, I'm following my sketch, so I'm not just drawing willy-nilly. I got this whole thing planned. It may look like I'm drawing willy-nilly, and it may come out looking willy-nilly, but I'm just kind of following my sketch. Okay? Alright, again, I'm going to clean up these lines just a little bit. Stress on that part. Now, I want to draw a little bit of the hands like this because we're not going to be able to draw all the hand lines. You'll see what I'm talking about when we get to the actual, webbing. Okay, so here's where it's going to get tricky because here I'm going to give him, let's see, his shoulder down to his arm, but here he's got his little spider, what do you call it? A thing. I don't know what it is, but whatever makes him Spider-Man is basically what it is. So I'm going to draw something big and bulky like this. Come back down. I'm going to stop here because I'm going to draw his hand. So let me draw his shoulder or his arm, just so you get a perspective of everything that's involved right here. Okay. Here, let's also do this. Here's his back, his ribs, down to his hips. That again, just to give you the shape of where we are. So this hand I've got kind of doing one of these. It's kind of very dramatic. So I'm going to draw the hand or the thumb like this. I'm going to bring it into the inside of the hand. And this finger, it's kind of up like this. So come up here. And I'm not going to draw the detail yet. I'm just going to draw the outline. Just again, so you can kind of get an idea of what we're doing here. There, okay. So let me add some extra detail here so you can kind of get an idea of what we're doing. So this has a whole surface side. It's like this whole big, I wish I could think of the word, but bracelet, I guess. it even says Spider-Man on it. It's crazy. It's like, well, if everybody sees you wearing it, they're gonna know you're Spider-Man, right? But yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna draw a little bit of arm musculature. But okay, so this one's up like this. This one's over. Like that. And then we're gonna say like his hand is kind of like this. And that's kind of the meaty part. But again, we're gonna draw some of the webbing in there. Some of this is gonna disappear. So let's draw the rest of his body, and then we're gonna come back and do the detail. So basically we're just drawing human anatomy, right? So I've got this leg way extended out. I'm gonna draw his thigh to his knee, to his calf, ankle, couldn't think of the word, down to his foot. And I know it's a long thing, but again, I'm following my sketch. That's how I can do this. So I'm gonna draw inner thigh to the knee, inner calf, ankle, heel, toe. All right. Okay. Let's do the other side. Let's just go ahead and do it, and then we're going to come back and add all the details. So I'm going to go down to the knee. There's the thigh to the knee, to the shin, the ankle, top of the foot, toe. So again, here we're going to do the inner thigh to the backside, really, from this angle. Calf, ankle, heel. All right. Okay. So here's where we're gonna get to some details. So, let's see. So for the face, this is what's gonna slow us down, is drawing the face. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and draw the lines. So I'm gonna draw, let's see, like this line for the face. And these lines, I'm just going to go ahead and follow straight out. The inner ones are what we're going to do that make it look like a web. This one's just kind of defining for me like the shape of his head too. Okay, and this is, sorry if I get quiet here for a while, but this is pretty much just us just drawing like some lines. Okay, so let's go ahead and start it like this. Okay, now from here, I'm gonna go ahead and draw kind of like this. And it may not be perfect. As a matter of fact, I know it's not gonna be perfect, but I'm okay with that. Matter of fact, I don't know how many of these I'm going to do, because as much as I want to draw a whole bunch of them, I need to kind of spread it out, because it's going to get a little messy in here. And that's pretty much all I'm going to do, is make it look like webs all the way around. And this is also why I wasn't putting so much detail in the rest of the body, because this is taking up so much real estate. No, it's not even the word. Design area. There we go. Okay, so it also goes out all over his body like this. Now that I see it, I kind of want to come back and thicken up a few things just to make him stand, like those eyes just weren't standing out. There we go. Looks even better now. Okay, so for his suit, we're just going to come down and do one of these. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw like the belt that looks like it. And then this just kind of branches out over to his arms, right? So I may thicken this up, because this line looks pretty much like those lines. And it might need to stand out, is what I'm trying to say. All right, so now that I have this, I think the other thing is going to be his feet, like that. So that means I can probably add some detail in here, just a little bit. Like we're going to add a knee, like this. Just do something like that. We're going to give him some stretch lines, especially right there where he's bending. This one, usually I do when he's got a wide stance, I usually stretch him out like this. But again, he's such a straight long length that he doesn't have a lot of bends, you know? Okay, so let's do this. I'm gonna kind of do like we did up there, where I'm following some lines. But see what I'm saying? How those lines are pretty much just the same thickness. I may thicken them up. I don't know. We're gonna see. Because especially like that. Look at how big of a gap I just left right there. I might want to change that up. Something else I'm playing around with too is I'm going with his muscular structure. I'm kind of following where a lump would be for his muscles, right? Especially right here, the way it's all stretched out. I'm a puller more than I am a pusher, so I like pulling my lines. I know that looks weird, but just bear with me. We're going to do the rest in a second. Okay, so same thing here. We're going to do kind of like we did there. But see what I was talking about too, how some of this would just kind of disappear and kind of the amount of lines we're adding. So it's almost like, well, may not have been that necessary, you know. But you live and you learn. Okay, so, before I forget, his spider. So let's do, I guess I'm gonna have to color it in because I just realized I don't have a good picture of it. That's good, that'll work. I'm gonna go ahead and do it like this before I even those other lines, because I'm afraid it's gonna get messy. So I'm gonna commit to this before I realize I shouldn't have done something. All right, so let's see. So I've got them going out and down. Is that right? Yeah. So like this. That's how I want to do it. I just started at a spot just to kind of figure out the bump, and I'm trying to stick to the lines. But, you know, obviously it's going to change around and not be perfect or flow right. But I am trying to keep it consistent all the way. And then we're going to run out there. So I'm just going to continue as if I'm going to skip that, just because I know how messy that's going to get. Okay. This. And so here it's going to get a little easier because you only got a couple to do. And then back to a whole bunch. And again, this is where it's going to get messy, so try to keep it consistent. But there, see, that's what I'm saying. I knew a lot of this was going to get convoluted, so that's why I didn't want to get too intricate there with the details. Just going to finish this up, and then I'm going to come back and do the other arm. But see how it's not perfect? That's okay. I'm fine with that. Hopefully you are. On his belt, we're going to do like this. Just kind of come up and do that. There we go. Okay, so back to over here. Continue what I was doing. Kind of like with the other arm over there, it's just going to be a bunch of webs like this. And then on his hand, I had him look down. Although, like I said, you can't really see at this point. It's just such a mishmash of web, you know. Okay, so the last thing I want to do is I'm going to do it in his feet, and so I just got to figure out a flow pattern. So I'm going to go down like this onto the top of his foot. You can't really see because it's more of a side preview. So now I'm just going to kind of follow those lines back. There, that'll work. And so we had him up. Let's continue like that. Let's just keep doing the up pattern, 'cause that way it all looks like it's branching out from his face, you know? So yeah, this is the boring part, so sorry if anybody's just watching me do this. Hopefully you're doing it too, so it's not as boring. Just watching me do little lines like this, I get it. Alright, so same thing here. I'm going to do down to the front. There we go. So same thing. Look how off those are. That's okay. I'm fine with that. Because the one thing you always got to look at too is, you know, you're going to make mistakes. It's not going to be perfect. But this is fun practice, you know. This is not your job. You're not going to get in trouble for doing it wrong. There you go. So I say we take care of the rest with color. So that is Japanese Spider-Man from Marvel's 616 series on Disney+. So here's how I colored it. Tell me what you think in the comments below, or show me what you did in our Discord group. Just have fun and make it your own, because remember, this is how I draw. You draw how you draw, and we'll meet somewhere in between. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more adventures with How I Draw. Plus, don't forget to hit that notification button for new videos.